Hey, welcome back to my channel. We're getting right into it with episode 5 and 6 of I Got a Story to Tell. So, episode 5 is probably one of my favorites out of the series so far, starring Jess Hilarious and that dude that looks like Chris Brown's brother. That's what I'm going to call him while I talk about this because I don't know his name, nor do I remember his character's name. So anyway, Jess Hilarious plays this influencer, kind of like how she is in real life, doing funny stuff, doing a prank. So she does a prank, takes it too far, and her husband, Chris Brown's brother, doesn't like it and he wants to get her back at it, right? So one thing they do have in common besides being married is they have a therapist, a woman that's a therapist. She's a friend of both of theirs, right? So as we're watching the episode, it kind of looks like he's creeping around with the therapist. That's what they're trying to give us, right? But I know with me watching movies and TV, I'm like, that's a little too easy. There's something else to this, right? Well, I kind of got maybe halfway through the episode and I realized I think he wants to play a prank on her to get her back, right? But they tried to set it up like they're having an affair or whatever. So, of course, Jess Hilarious, she sees them coming out of the house, hugging and stuff. She comes in and sees 2 plates, 2 glasses of wine, and she's like, okay, what's up with this right here? But she doesn't tell him that she knows about the affair, right? So at this point, I'm like, I just want to see what the twist is, because with this series so far, you could get some sci-fi or you could just get some really good suspense, thriller, drama. You can get some horror. It kind of has all those genres mixed in at once in this series. She goes, finds the therapist, kills her, cuts her head off with I think it was a machete or big ass sword or something. But the part that gets me, it is funny because I saw this in another BET Plus movie. That computer animated blood, like when she chopped her head off, they had a computer animated neck, the insides, and then the blood, you could see it. I'm just like, listen, okay. I'm not judging. I understand BET probably has a budget, but could have gotten some fake blood from Spirit Halloween or something. Like the computer animated blood, I'm just, no, just edit it in there, throw it on the ground, and then shoot it. Like I don't know. It was just funny to me because I noticed it. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, she goes home and she's like, yeah, I got your BITCH right here. At this point, I didn't know she cut the girl's head off. We find that out after she comes home. He surprises her with her, I think it was her mom that she didn't have a good relationship with or hadn't seen in a while. I guess that was supposed to be the prank. She shows up holding the therapist girl's head, right? Of course, her mom faints on the ground. Everybody's looking at her like, WTF. So I kind of want to categorize this episode kind of like suspense horror / comedy, because to me it was funny. I mean, you know, you kind of let your insecurities get the best of you and you chop this woman's head off. Like, kudos to the writers, man, because that was funny. Like, that was pretty good though. I think the last time I saw Jess Hilarious in something, I want to say it was on the Rail show and / or the Carmichael show, if I'm not mistaken. She was on one of those. I know she was with a show with Rail because Rail was on both of those shows. So her act is pretty good, you know. I guess you could say this was a serious role because we know she's a comedian, so we're used to her being funny and stuff like that. So she did a good job. And I've seen Chris Brown's brother on a few other things. I can't name it right now, but just like, you know, the made-for-TV movies, TV shows and stuff like that. So episode 6, which I found out like the next day. You remember I told you Thursdays they have new episodes? They didn't have any new episodes, and episode 6 was like an hour and a half long. So I don't know if that was the final episode. I thought they had 8 for the season, but anyways, I'll just keep checking the app and check it out. So like I said, episode 6 is more like a movie, and this lady, here's the thing. Okay, so at the beginning of the movie, this couple there, you know, hunching in the woods or whatever, doing their thing. She gets snatched up by the woods. The woods literally snatches her, and her boyfriend runs after her. He gets snatched up too. And that doesn't really ever tie into the story. But basically, there's some kind of like castle out in the woods where children were being sacrificed. And their spirits are like in the dolls. Remember Tales from the Hood, that one story in that movie? So basically the spirit of the doll starts hunting this lady and her husband. Her husband ends up getting killed by something. Her niece stays with her for the summer or something like that. The ghost tried to get the niece. Like, it was like I said, it was an hour and a half long, so it's more like a movie. So trying to condense it into this one little review, you know, because I don't want to go on and on and on and on about this episode / movie. So I will say this: what I liked about this episode, now this episode was pure horror, because you're dealing with, anytime you're dealing with dead kids, it pulls at your heartstrings, because we never want to see children getting hurt. So when you throw that in a horror movie, dolls, that's another thing. Children, dolls, evil spirit, that type of stuff is always cringeworthy for a horror film. So you have that, you had the voodoo man. Now that part was kind of funny, because when she went to see the voodoo man, it was her and her friends, and the dolls that had the souls in them kept popping up, and she would look this way and there goes one here, you look this way, this one's over here, and you don't see them move, they just pop up. To me, that was funny. Like, horror is one of my favorite genres along with comedy, so anytime there's a mixture of both in a movie or a series, I enjoy it. If I'm going for horror though, I'd rather have more horror than comedy versus more comedy than horror. Get what I'm saying? Like, there's some movies where it's supposed to be funny, but like, okay, I'll give you an example. Serial Mom. Even though I like Serial Mom, that was more of a comedy / horror, because she was like basically murking everybody, but it was funny. So yeah, man, I'm waiting on those 2 episodes, unless it's just 6. It might be a trial run. They might have just wanted to give us a few episodes just to see how it does, see how many views I get, who watches it, who talks about it, and whatnot. Like I said, I love a good anthology where you have a series where it's different characters and episodes each time. Like, I love that. Twilight Zone, I just watched because you know Twilight Zone gets remade like once every decade. So the one that came out in 2003, I binge watched that whole thing like all this weekend. It was like 20 something episodes, maybe 30. I'm trying to see what else. I don't know. There's a lot. That's a good thing about streaming, is you can always find what you're looking for. That's why I don't ever feel like there's a reason to talk about diversity too much, because it's like, dude, you can literally watch anything you want on streaming. So my next review is going to be on Megan. I finally made my way back to the theater. It's been so long. I'm going to actually get an unlimited movie pass at Regal. It's $23 a month. The tickets are like 12 something anyway, so it's like, okay, as long as you see two movies, you know, it pays for itself right there. So that'll definitely help me out, because it's like, man, I got to get back. Streaming, TV shows, movies, and movie theaters, man. I've been missing out on so much. Anyways, I'm going to lay it down, because as you see, I like to film at night. Don't ask me why. And it's time for me to go lay it down. So as always, y'all, peace and blessings. Thanks for checking in on my channel. All right, y'all have a good one.